Former Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings, now the National Convention Chair for No Labels. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good to see you again, Jack.
Likewise. And so I think a lot of people may or may be surprised that you are part of this No Labels effort to come up with a third-party presidential ticket. First, if you can, tell me a little bit about No Labels and why it is that you got involved.
Well, No Labels has been around for over 10 years and has been working at bipartisanship in Congress to try to get bills passed and help have the center kind of be a pivotal point and a lever point there. It's done that. I found it very interesting, my experience being mayor, and what I realized, two things I kind of learned. One is real leaders are uniters, not dividers. And I find so many politicians now are about dividing this country versus uniting it. So that's my litmus test when I look at politicians these days. The second thing I've realized is how dissatisfied America is right now in the political situation. This political duopoly is not serving them. They realize that, and they're very, very upset about it. 70% don't want a rematch that we're seeing. You've got 20% on either end of the spectrum, on the far left and the far right, and they're speaking for the common sense majority out there, and they're not happy. And so you've got a system that's broken, and ultimately, I know that you've got to unite people. So I said, I'm going to lean into this and spend some time trying to help this movement along.
And I mean, I was there in 2019, in your remaining days of being mayor in Dallas, and you endorsed Joe Biden for president. And so now to hear you really back a No Labels effort to get a third party unity ticket might really seem strange to a lot of people.
Well, look, at that moment, it was clear to me that now President Biden was the only person that could beat Donald Trump. And to me, that was my agenda. And I think he's done a good job in this. I think he did a good job in the State of the Union address. But what I realized, Jack, it's not about what I think, it's about the public. And the public wants another answer. They're very upset with this. It's obvious that Trump is what I call a runaway train on this, and then electoral college polling when you look at each of these states. And I'm very, very scared of where our country could go. So for me, I go back and listen to people and say, what do you want? And they're calling and begging for another alternative.
And so, what do you say to those in the Democratic Party, even the Republican Party, who believe that, your efforts, No Labels, could very well play the spoiler?
Well, we're not in this to be a spoiler. If we have a candidate, we see a clear pathway to victory. We've spent a lot of money on deep, deep research, state by state. It would surprise you that Texas is very open to a third party. It's not just Trump automatically. And so we understand the pathway we've got to get to. We've got to find that individual, but we're not into to be a spoiler. We don't want to do that. And ultimately, look, we didn't make the bed that the Republicans are in. Many Republicans have lost their party. It's gone. We didn't make the bed the Democrats are in. We're trying to talk to the tens of millions of people out there that say, surely there's got to be a better way.
And I've been reading, some of the other press accounts. No Labels has had a lot of challenges finding candidates who want to run on the No Labels party. So what would be your ideal ticket? Is a Republican the top of the ticket, a Democrat at the top of the ticket? Talk to me a little bit about what and what are the values that these candidates would have to, be a part of?
It's one of the enjoyable things I've done is in being this chair role is I've talked to over 800 delegates throughout 50 states individually, and we've talked individual interviews. And here's what they're saying they want in a candidate. First of all, they probably prefer a Republican at the top of the ticket because they feel that's going to take more away from Trump. And that's where their focus is primarily. Second, they want somebody that is a uniter. I mentioned a uniter, somebody that is not about doing politics the old way where everybody gets poked in the eye, but we bring people together with common sense solutions. That's a big phrase that they keep using on each of the issues that we have. And second, they would like to have a unity ticket, a Republican at the top, a Democrat as vice president, and demonstrate that it can be done. This is not rocket science. It's hard. It's hard to individually step up and be courage, have the courage to do this, and have the humility to say, I may not be right all the time, but that's what America is all about, doing things in a common sense manner.
And how quickly do you hope to attract these candidates, put a team together, put a ticket together, and how many states is no labels on the ballot already for November?
Let me talk about the second question first, and then I'll come back to the first. We're in 13 states already. We're active to be on 30 plus states in just a couple of months. We're getting the signatures. We're going through all the process. And then at some point, we've got to turn it over to the campaign because of state laws. No Labels is not a party, it's a movement. So we're doing a lot of the work there. We would hand over the ballot to somebody, and then they would finish it all out. So we think we can do that. Ross Perot had just started getting signatures this time when he ran before. And so I think it's something that we've got the time. You're not going to hear about a candidate next week. It may not be for a few weeks if we do. We may not have one. Remember, we're trying to win this. And if we don't believe that we've got a clear path, we may be backing down. And I think that's the wise approach because this is going to be going on forever. Okay. The duopoly is broken. People are saying there's got to be another way. And I don't think they're going to change anytime soon.
And so do you have well, first of all, is Texas on the list where you are on the ballot? And then the other thing is going back to, do you have a self-imposed deadline of when you have to have a decision about a team going forward, a ticket going forward?
We need to get this done this spring. Okay. There's no question about that. Hopefully sometime in April. Texas, we're in the process. We filed our papers. We're starting signatures to get on that ballot. We've got a great group of people. Boy, the quality of people that are supporting this is huge, and it's exciting to see the chairs and the board on the party here in Texas.
And will No Labels still have, because I believe the national convention was planned for Dallas, is that right?
Yeah, we decided that because of the timing of this, we had promised that we would start really thinking about this after Super Tuesday. We wanted to make sure that America, through the party system, had their decision made. We did that, and we decided because of things were moving that we were going to do this virtually as opposed to doing a live convention.
And my final question to you, and I appreciate your time, and that is, what is your message to, Texans out there, whether they be Republican or Democrat or independents, and how can you assure them that if they were to vote for a No Labels movement candidate, that it's not a vote that is wasted?
Well, first of all, I think the most important message is what Lincoln told us, and that's a house divided is going to fall. Okay. And we've got to think about this country in a big way, and the strength of this country is coming together. Ultimately, it's got to be around the candidate and the ticket itself, the individuals that you've got to decide whether they're going to be a uniter. And it's not about getting your way all the time. It's about putting a process together that can get to a better place, that the country can get to a better place, that Texas can be in a better place than it is now. Because right now, people are tired of this. They're exhausted, and there is a better way.
We are talking to National Convention Chair of No Labels and former Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack.